Welcome to T4G Member. Today we're going to show you guys how to upgrade wide receivers in Madden 23. Let's see if we can get this video to 300 likes. You guys have no idea how much it means to us. We'll never take it for granted. It's insane to us that 300 people will like this video or like any of our videos. It's just crazy because it's surreal. And it's something we'll never take for granted. And we'll always remember. You guys have no idea how much it means just hitting that like button, commenting down below. It's insane to us. So thank you guys. So we got a question for you guys. Do you think Randy Moss and Calvin Johnson Jr. were the best wide receivers of all time? If you had to put them in category, I think D-Hop is going to go down as a Hall of Famer easily. Julio Jones, you had Jerry Rice. You have wide receivers that were just impeccable. But then these two guys to me were just the guys that they were Super Saiyans. They were the guys that if they showed up, you just were like, oh no, they're here. 1,696 players total in the NFL. If you have 53-man roster and you have times that by 32 teams, 1,696. And these guys were still getting double covered. We had 300 million people, over 300 million people in the United States alone, and less than 2,000 play this sport. And out of those less than 2,000 people, you still had to triple covered these two men, and they still succeeded. It's so mind-blowing to me. Let us know down in the comments below. Do you think that these two are the greatest of all time, and who else do you have on that list? So the first thing that I want you guys to understand about Madden is that they have it very unrealistic when it comes to how they have the schemes. They have to where every scheme has to be the exact same. And it's ridiculous because that's not the way the NFL works. Teams are mixed-matched with all different styles of wide receivers. They have their deep threats, their big physical guys, their jump ball guys. They have their playmakers. They have their slot guys. They have different styles of wide receivers. And I wish that Madden would allow us to customize this. However, know that you can upgrade your coach. If you've seen our video on how to upgrade your coaching staff, in particular, your head coach, you know that you will be able to upgrade an upgrade skill that will give your entire team a scheme fit, even if they don't match your team scheme. Okay, so that's something that you guys should understand. So the next thing we want to talk about here is how the wide receivers are built. Okay, so and this is what we want you guys to understand. Playmakers are your basic running back type wide receivers. These guys can be moved over to the running back position, and they show a greater increase in overall than almost any other position, and slot is very close to that as well. These are the two that are close to the running back. As you can see, the top skills: ball carrier, vision, juke, move, break tackle. Slot guy is more in his short route running, his catching in traffic, and his catching. Okay, that's just these two guys are the two guys that you move over to running back, and you see that greater increase in overall than you would with a deep threat or a physical guy on average. Of course, you're going to have your anomalies out there as well. So for our number one and our number two guys at wide receiver, we typically go for a deep threat or a physical guy or a combo of the two or both of the same. Okay, that's typically what we do. Our third string guy, we always go for a slot. Slot is just something that we always go for. If you upgrade the slot, chances are if your guy's really good he's a real big physical guy, or he's really good at deep threat, when you upgrade the slot, you're still going to see an increase in overall. Maybe every other one, but slot kind of complements. All right, that's just what it does. You got your catching in traffic, your catching in your short route running. It's going to complement because deep threat is your deep route running. Release, spectacular catch. Physical is your catching in traffic, spectacular catch in your release. Okay, so the slot kind of complements them more and more. Playmaker, I'm not really a big fan on upgrading this one all that much because the ball carrier, vision, juke, move, and the break tackle, okay, that's great. I don't mind it, but it's one of the least. It is the least one that I look for. Deep threat, physical, and slot are the ones that I look for the most in my wide receivers. I want you to be a route technician, not worry as much about you catching the ball or running after the catch. I'm more worried about you catching the ball and getting open. That's the first part to me about being a wide receiver, and that's where I get most of my success from, is my guys getting open and my quarterback delivering that ball and them being able to catch that ball. After that is just an added bonus to me. Okay, so playmaker is just one that I'm really never going to touch all that much. I'm just not. I'm going to waste most of it on deep threat, physical, and slot. If I get a physical guy and he's a pure physical guy, I'll probably work on the deep threat, kind of do a counter, you know, because these two are polar opposites to a degree. Physical guys, your big guy, your deep threat guy is usually just a speed guy. That's usually where you get speed, all right? So I kind of have these two go a little bit, you know, I'll upgrade if he's a real huge deep threat guy. Let's say he's an 80 deep threat and he's a 69 physical, then I'll every now and then I'll still keep working on his deep threat as the main thing and then upgrade his physical. Once he gets to like an 89 to a 90, I'll switch over and start mainly doing the deep threat too to make him even better, or I'll hit it with the slot. It just kind of depends on the certain situation at hand. Same thing goes with physical. Increase them with what they're good at. Another thing people try to do is they try to sit there and game the system and say, well, let's say, you know, he's coming up on a contract and I don't want him to get better, so I'll upgrade him something that he's bad at. Instead of doing that, save your points. Don't just upgrade willy-nilly and you know, try to keep it to his overalls the same so he costs less money. Keep those points when he signs the contract, then do it. That would be my suggestion if you're going to go about it that route, okay? But the big thing is here, like, you know, if I do a physical here, you'll see it increase. I'm kind of increasing polar opposites a little bit here. Now, I'm not always saying do this. You'll see didn't get an increase there. I'm just showing you guys for the sake of this. I might get an increase here, and you see that I got an increase. Every other one is a good average for you, and you can see I'm just making him all in all a little bit better. So if he's a high deep threat, I'm going to keep encouraging that deep threat and then maybe hit it with a slot or a physical every now and then. If he's a high physical guy, I'll do the exact opposite, right? For my third string guy, I'm hitting pure slot. I want him to be the nastiest slot guy in the world. And then once he's really good at slot, then I'll mix it up and go, hey, maybe I'll add a little bit of physical to him if he's a little bit faster, he's a smaller type guy. Or maybe I'll add a deep threat to him if he's not as fast as I would like him to be, and I kind of want to increase that speed. When it comes to older guys, just upgrade them with what they're good at. And the second rule is when they're younger guys as well, and I don't have any more young guys on my team to upgrade, but when they're younger guys, upgrade them with what they're good at. Don't fight against the grain. Continue pushing that up. Once you start to see them take hold, if you start upgrading that deep threat and he's a 75 deep threat and then he's turning around, he's, you know, maybe a 70 slot, then you can upgrade that slot. Or he's a 69 physical, then upgrade that physical, and then continue back on to going to the deep threat and boosting that up, because you want him to have a main identity. Once he has that main identity, then you can kind of go back and forth and go, okay, he's really low on his physical or he's really low on his slot. I know if I upgrade this, he's more than likely going to still continue his upgrade growth, and he's going to become a better player as well as from a result of that. Okay, so don't fight against the grain too much. Have a physical guy, a deep threat guy, or two physical guys as your 1 and 2, or two deep threat guys as your 1 and 2, and then have your slot as a third string guy, and just upgrade the slot for your third string guy for a while. Keep boosting it up. Make sure he's strong in that slot, and then you can hit it with the deep threat, the physical. The playmaker is not something I'm going to touch all that much until he's already at a status that's ridiculous in the mid-90s around there. Then you could probably say, I want to do the playmaker, but I wouldn't worry about that until the end when you are already sitting there reaping the fruits of your labor. Okay, so that's how I would do it. If you guys have any questions, obviously let us know down below.